Mega Man, a flagship of Capcom with elements of platforming, puzzles, and action. But in 2001, there was a change from the classic to a new format for a new franchise. Now, with random encounters, new puzzles, a semblance of a deck building feature, new graphics, and a top-down view, this is Mega Man Battle Network, and it is one of my favorite franchises from when I was younger. So, when Capcom announced a re-release of every single MMBN, that stands for Mega Man Battle Network, by the way, as 2 collections, well, I couldn't resist. I thought it would be a short, fun little playthrough, but little did I know what it was in for. So, let's take a quick-ish look at how my playthrough went for Mega Man Battle Network. It starts off with you meeting the main characters, Lan and Mega Man. Also, sorry, while I pause for a second, do a quick world lore build up here so I don't get any questions later on. The world uses computer programs for everything. A person's personal program is called a Navi, which can be used for good or for evil. Almost everything is connected to the Internet of Many Things or has its own softwares, and yeah, I think that about covers it. There's a few other things, but we're going to ignore those for now because I'm lazy. Anyway, back to the video. So, you meet Lan, the protagonist, and his Navi, Mega Man. You learn a bit about the news, hearing about basically a cyber terrorist group called WWW. We're going to choose to ignore that for now. And your dad apologizes about how he's never around through email. You say hi to mom, and then you go about your day. You learn the basics of virus busting at school, which, I mean, this is like the addition tables for your virus busting. Now, one important thing from school was talking about how your chips work. Your folder is basically your active deck. Your sack is where all the other chips you found are kept. The way chips work is that any that are the same, i.e. a cannon and a cannon, or chips that have the same letter, that one right there, can be played and stacked in the same turn. Think Uno, either it is the same color, so the same chip, or the same number, the same letter. Anyway, our friend Dex starts talking trash, so yeah, we nip that in the bud really quick. Also, can we talk about the fact that it says enemy deleted whenever you win? And I don't know what that means for Navis, but I'm going to choose to ignore that because, again, lazy. We get home to see someone checking our control panel for our house. Yeah, he's definitely not evil at all. Sure, that laugh is a coincidence. We go upstairs and go onto the net, choosing to ignore the most obvious red flags that I've seen since my ex. Anyway, this is the net. You will spend a majority of your time exploring this, going through here. This is where you're going to find most of your chips. This is where you'll find various crystals, like these ones, that hold money or said chips. In addition to this, though, the more important thing is that you will have various random encounters with viruses anytime you go onto the net, or jack in. These viruses can vary between ones that will just attack if you get in their line of sight, ones that will mirror your movements and attack once they're in the same lane, or ones with gimmicks, such as going invisible or going onto your side for their attack. There are also color variations of most enemies to show an increase in difficulty in some way, shape, or form. In addition to these random finds and encounters, there is one other main thing on the net to keep an eye out for: a net merchant. They sell chips, but more importantly, they sell power-ups, HP memory, and some even sell armors. These are the main items that will increase Mega Man's base fighting abilities. We log off the internet, go down for dinner, and find our oven is on fire. Oh no! I definitely didn't foresee this occurring. Anyway, we go into the oven's net, and here we see the gimmick for this area. Also, yes, besides the base internet, major areas also have their own gimmick. This one is Hot Oven is Hot, so we need an ice block program to put out the fires on the net, which, again, we're going to choose to ignore. As we go through, suddenly an explosion happens. Thankfully, we have a water gun, that is definitely not a hose, to put out some of the fire, and Mega Man's able to continue. We see the Navi causing this, and find out the guy from last time is also called Mr. Match. Listen, this is a kid's game. The names aren't going to be award-winning, alright? So give me a break. Anyway, Mr. Match and Fireman fight. And yeah, that doesn't go well for them. Even though we defeat them, apparently they got the program they needed. Also, why is there a program that will start a war in my oven? But we ignore that, immediately cut to a mysterious man in front of our school, which I'm sure is not important at all. Oh my god, he's our new teacher. Oh, he's also a nerd. Same, homie. Same. Suddenly, he tells us to do some math problems, leaves class, and suddenly we're stuck in a re-education program for the WWW. Again, this is a game meant for kids. Anyway, we jack into the blackboard and we're told about some locks that we need to deal with to go further in. And here's the gimmick for this area. These locks are 2-digit locks that either are based off of various world items such as the number of desks in the classroom, or you just need to guess. So yeah, that's about it for that. We find our normal teacher, let them out to get the teacher's launch pass, and fight the new teacher, who is doing this straight up for money to collect more chips. I mean, to each their own, but yeah, the fight with Higsby and Numberman goes off as well as you'd expect. We decide after this is over, which only took the beginning part of the school day apparently, to visit our dad at his lab. So we go to the train station to buy a ticket, and there's an issue. Of course there is. So we go to the internet, because the fix is always on the internet in this world, and find this dude, Stone Man, who is somehow causing a landslide on the internet to stop the train from going. And yeah, it goes as you would think. So we get a ticket, make our way to Dad's lab, and make a stop to explore some of the small things, and well, this happens. Here's where I want to state. Make sure to save, and save often. So we do it all again, this time saving when we get done. We go to the lab. Dad isn't there. Surprise, surprise. So we leave a message with the program and go home. Dad gets our message and sends us another email, but this time we're able to get the gift. So we get a power up and an HP memory. A short time skip and an unfortunate naming of the incident later, and now the water is off in the entire town. Awesome. We help Dex take his mind off the issues by absolutely wiping the floor with Gutsman again. Check out the new store from Higsby, who learned the error of his ways. This shop is where we see the trip traders. Woo! Gambling light, baby! We go to the water filtration pump building, where we meet Chad, a little asshole who seems like his favorite pastime is telling his parents, it's not a phase. Also, he's our age, why is he calling us a kid? Like he's got a 401k. We try to go to the filtration pump area, but we need an employee ID. So we borrow our dad's and hide out until everyone is gone to try and fix the water issue. As we're about to jack into a section to check the internet for the issue, a woman comes by, yells at us to go home and leaves, which we ignore and go onto the net of the area. Oh boy! Ice is the gimmick here. Great! Also, there's some pipes that you need to shut off to stop water to go to certain areas, but the ice is definitely the worst part here, especially since you can actually go diagonally, which is required apparently to figure out the answers to some of these puzzles. We find the frozen pump, show what happens when polar bears are exposed to global warming, and thaw the pump, totally fixing the issue. Well, never mind, the issue's not fixed. If this guy's totally not dead body is anything to go by. Perfect timing, Chad somehow got our contact information and yells at us for messing everything up. We stop a kidnapping, get a handle program, which we use to get the rest of the way to the filtration system, after one of the worst puzzles I've ever dealt with. God, I hate ice so much. We stop Chad from deleting a program named Iceman. Chad receives an email stating that the WWW is going after a program here, leaving us with Iceman, who we then fight. Goes as you normally would expect. We tell them that, hey, your son's okay, and Iceman thaws the filtration system. We then get a little cutscene about why the WWW is getting these programs, choosing to not deal with the idea of a life virus for now. We get an email from May saying we're gonna shop for our friend's birthday. Oh boy, shopping episode, surely nothing will go wrong. We leave the message with Roll and go to the shopping area. We pass the time fighting Papyrus here and notice the traffic lights are not working. The woman that we saw earlier sends a mass email to everyone stating that they have a program to fix the autopilot on the cars, but we stop everyone from spending $1 million, zenny. We go into the net of this area, which has the gimmick of switches for platforms, fix the lights, and stop people from wasting money. The woman threatens us for interfering again, but that definitely won't be anything important in the immediate future. Oh my god, our friend is stuck on a bus. Someone quick, where's Keanu? We go to the other lights, stopping the bus. Roll stops the bus from exploding, and then we stop Colorman from deleting Roll, and then I assume went about the day like nothing happened and go through another little time skip. Dad tells us there's a party and wants me and Mom to come by. Oh my god, family bonding, it does exist. We make like plastic, destroy some sea creatures before meeting up for dinner with Mom and Dad. Dad gets a notice over the speaker to go to his lab, and so he has to leave. Surprise, surprise. Soon after, a WWW member looking like a Christmas tree set to music shows up, turns off the power, and leaves us to apparently just die from oxygen deprivation? We go find a way to get to the electric area, and here we find two gimmicks. One is this battery here that goes down as we explore the net. I'm sure it's definitely not important. And invisible floors. Oh Lord, why have you forsaken me? We hear about the puzzles, which is basically just a trial and error of putting batteries in the right slot, and go about opening up more pathways. Suddenly the battery hits empty. Oh no, whatever will happen? Oh, it's just button mashing? Got it. Anyway, after that little activity, we continue on, opening the last pathway and getting to... Electman? Really? Okay. Anyway, we find Elecman stealing the electricity program located here. We start the fight, and it goes... Wait, what was that? Nah, I'm sure I'm just seeing things. It happened again.
Right hand on the Bible. God can strike me down if I'm lying. That motherfucker's cheating!
We realize with the power being on, he will continuously heal to full health. So, Lance shuts down the power, getting zapped with what I can only assume is 1.21 gigawatts. The power is off, though, and then the fight goes, well, how you'd expect it to. Chod and his Navi Proto Man come in and get upset that apparently he didn't like us ruining his trap. So we have to fight Proto Man. Side note, genuinely one of the worst fights in this game. This happens right after Elecman, so there's no saving before this, and Proto Man is definitely a very sharp curve in terms of difficulty if you aren't prepared, being invincible basically right until the point where he attacks you, and using a sword attack animation that can either attack a column or a row, but looks very, very similar. Attacks that have long animations like cannon or bomb are not recommended due to how small the window is with his attacks. Quick shots or attacks with an animation that pauses the instant, such as a rolls chip, will be extremely helpful during this fight. Anyway, after a bit of a struggle, we end up doing what we normally do. We make Proto Man have an existential crisis over the fact that he and Chod can never have what Mega Man and Lan have as Navi and Operator, and then we leave. We also become part of the deforestation issue, ask the nerd how to ask the dark, undernet, and fight the doorman to get in. You can tell you're in the undernet because the programs here are mean. Anyway, you find out to try and find the WW server in the internet that you'll need some more keys. So we ask random people until we find old WWW members who just give it to us when they see Mega Man? Again, I'm not going to question it. We go deeper into the internet and find what looks like the way in, but it's blocked by Bomb Man. We sing a familiar song, but he deletes the entrance before we can get further after we beat him. We see after this the WWW makes the life iris. Totally not an issue at all! And then ignore that as we go around and find the sacred entrance to their lair. We find the people who helped us, untie them, and then go around the different locked doors that are mini versions of the major areas we've already been in. So fire, numbers, switches, ice, invisible floors. We then save, because apparently we can't do it past this little program right here, and fight Magic Man. This man is too scared to fight us one-on-one, so his whole shtick is he summons other enemies we fought over the course of the game. But after a bit, we finally get there and beat him. We then move forward to confront Wily, who starts monologuing about why he's doing this. Wait, really? That's why he's doing this? One sec. Oh my god, it's true! Alright, well that's one of the dumbest reasons I've ever seen someone willing to end all of humanity, but... Anyway, we go to fight the Life Iris, which is one of the toughest fights, with his constant summons of what is basically just an elemental shield, but can also attack, and his actual shield that you need to hit 100 damage before it even goes away, and a health pool larger than anything we've seen so far. But it falls just like the rest. And with that, we beat Mega Man Battle Network. Now, one thing I forgot to get here that I want to discuss as well, Mega Man is Lan's dead brother named Hub, apparently, and that's what makes Mega Man special. And then in the credits, we see him come to reality. I guess we're just gonna ignore that for now, too. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Remember, have some food, have some water, because you're immaculate, but you need energy to stay that immaculate. And remember that I appreciate y'all.